The Boys Season 3. The Boys Season 3 is a very great series. Better than anything Marvel is putting on right now. It's entertaining, good old fun. You can sit, watch, and have a very enjoyable moment and stuff. Like, in The Boys Season 3, there are certain things that, honestly, I thought they could have done better. But all in all, it was overall enjoyable. There was nothing that felt irrelevant to the series and to characters. There are certain characters that were downright annoying, but there are certain characters that were downright okay. Overall, I think this series has a lot more life in it, and I'm very intrigued to see where they're going in the future for this series. Let's get into some stuff now. So with The Boys Season 3, some of the things that greatly worked for me, really good, was the stuff with Butcher. I really like the struggles that he was going through this season. I really like some of the stuff that he was tempted with, and I like a lot what that they did overall with the character. There wasn't anything I feel like that was misrepresented character far as what I remember from previous season. I think the desperation to want to basically be an even playing field once it was put in front of him was really there, and I think that would have gone to his character, because I believe that his character would want to even playing field a bit, but not go over to the side completely, or just have the middle ground where he's not one of the soups, but he has the ability to garner the abilities of them for a short period of time, so he can do what he needs to get done. And I believe that I did that very well, all in all, and stuff. And really interesting how even at the end, close to the end, they put it that taking this substance will eventually kill him. So it kind of forced him to basically, he's dying by the end of the season, and it kind of put him in a position where he has to now make a decision if he wants to become the thing he hates or remain or just die, basically. And I think that's interesting going into season 4 and how they tackle it, how quickly will they resolve that or continue that, because I think they can have that struggle throughout season 4, and probably at the end of season 4 he decided to give all in and just become a soup completely. But I think for now I'll be interested to see how the struggle goes and how they take that character, and if they will only give him powers. And I believe they will. I don't believe that they would want to kill Butcher anytime soon, because I believe they plan to make more seasons for this show going forward, for at least 5, 6, or 7. Another thing that works for me is Soulja Boy. I really like Jensen Ackles' character, Soulja Boy. I really like his portrayal, and a lot of times with Soulja Boy, it's a bit more complex to me. I got from it than just being an evil person. And you can see that he was like Homelander to his team, just a bit more, I guess, tyrant-like-esque, because he actually beat up his team. That's what we'll learn later on. But all in all, before learning that, it just seemed like, yes, he's an ass, but he doesn't seem like he's to the level of crazy that Homelander is at. So he does bad things, and he will kill people that gets in his way, and it doesn't bother him who get hurt. However, he won't, what I get from it, that he won't intentionally or even publicly would want to hurt a lot of people, because that's not something that he believes as a hero he should do, I guess. But he doesn't mind it, and it doesn't bother him that he does, but at the same time he kind of doesn't want to. So that's the sense I kind of get from his character, especially every time he kills like a bunch of people. It's not really something he decides to do, it's something that happens based on the fact that he's struggling with PTSD, and there's certain things that triggers him, then he just goes off. And I think that was very interesting, just to not make him just crazy Homelander or whatever. He's a lot more sane, but you could tell that he is actually like, he's still bad, but he's all there in a sense. He's not crazy, not to the level of Homelander anyways. I think this is one thing the show does well. They don't necessarily paint anybody as good or bad in a sense. Like, the clear lines are good. Oh, you don't kill people, whatever. In this series, everybody does what they believe that they should do. Obviously, characters have certain lines they wouldn't cross. Probably certain people they wouldn't kill, but they're not shying away from killing. It doesn't bother them to kill, but there are certain lines or certain ways they will not cross, which is, I think, it's a very interesting way the show always paints these things, and I really like that about the show. Second thing I want to touch on is Kimiko and Frenchie's character. I think Kimiko and Frenchie's character was really amazing. Going to the season, I seen other clips of basically dancing, singing. I thought it was gonna be like some musical craziness with their character, but I like how they incorporate the musical elements and all that stuff, which is really nice. And I just like how the characters went overall. I think Kimiko and Frenchie, Kimiko in particular, was one of the strongest pairs this season. And I think as individuals and as a pair, they really work together, and the characters really, individual arcs really opens up to really understand what these characters want and how these characters want to view themselves and don't want to view themselves in that sense. And it was very interesting just to see all that. Okay, so I want to touch on Mother's Milk. I think a lot of things that his characters do was really good, meaning that his story arc was really good. I had no problems with it. I think his struggle to, I guess, want to show his daughter the best side of himself, and when he loses control and she sees the other side of himself, he gets very disappointed within himself. And I think that's a very good way to portray a very good father in a sense, and I think they did him very well. There are certain things I thought they could have done better with this character, but I think all in all, everything was done well with his character. And I think everything was done with his character. I like the relationship between he and his daughter and everything. So I don't want to talk too much about what happens in the series. I think I already spilled enough already. So because it's something that no matter how much clips you've seen, you have to experience the story for yourself. And I think that everyone should experience the story of both The Boys season 3 for themselves and make their own judgment. Yes, there were certain jokes within this series that kind of was a bit on the nose, but I wouldn't say that it goes to the point of annoyance or anything. I think only character that annoyed me this season was Starlight and Huey. So Starlight was pretty annoying in a lot of ways. One of the key ways she annoyed me was there was an ex of hers that she was working with, and to be honest, it's probably just me, but she was a bit too chummy with him, and I don't know if she was doing it out of spite or probably just wasn't aware, because a lot of times in her behavior it feels like she's doing things out of spite or out of just want to be in control, and I couldn't understand why she would have that reaction really. But I guess, I don't know, it feels like a bit like she wants to control everything, and she doesn't like when she doesn't have control, and I think she likes to be superior to Huey in a sense. And a lot of time, because I remember one scene where Huey took Compound V, he had powers or whatever, and I couldn't tell if she was because she didn't know anything about the temporary V really, so she didn't know that he would kill him as yet. So she getting overly upset that he's taking it. But I guess you can argue that she probably, because it was from Va, she probably felt like overall there would be a side effects, and whatever it was, she didn't care. She just didn't want him to experience it. You could argue that, but to me, I feel like she was more upset of the fact that he wanted powers. And to be honest, when it comes down to it, I guess you'd be upset initially. Being upset initially that he took it would be okay, but the fact that she was even upset after the fact that he wanted powers, like you could possibly try to understand within the world of people with powers, you yourself would want powers, especially when it comes under you fighting the people with powers. So I think that she could have been a bit more understanding, and I think it seemed to me that she wanted to be in control of you in a sense. That's why she wanted you to be dependent on her. In a sense, that's why she didn't want him to have powers. And even when he does things on his own, like arguably you could argue that it's dangerous stuff, but at the same time she does trust within his capabilities to get these things done. And I think that made her character annoying. It wasn't bad acting, it just made her character annoying. And I think Huey, this season, he teeters, like in the first season was fine, the way he was acting, like didn't want to get his hand dirty and he was weak and whatever. But as the series progressed, I just think it's a slow progression to him becoming more steadfast or even assertive. I think even in this season, he was still kind of shy, hiding, apologetic. And I think that made his character really annoying. And I could understand, in a way, he plays it. His character behavior kind of plays into why he's attracted to Starlight. And he started to feel like he's not attracted to her because of what value she adds to him, basically, in a way. And I think that's kind of annoying.
Even though Starlight's the most successful woman,
I think that he still can be portrayed as being assertive. A lot of time he's very apologetic. He seemed to be at the mercy of Starlight, and I think that was a very annoying characterization. I did not like that one bit, and I hope in coming season they kind of because they did it a bit where he kind of stepped away from Starlight in a sense, and I kind of hope they continue with that as the series progresses. I really do, because I want, I really do hope they're portraying a bit better going forward. I think Homelander was really good. Anthony Starr was really good. I've been watching him from his days on Banshee, and he was really great over there, and he was still great over here. I really liked him. Like, it always felt like you don't know what he's gonna do at any minute, and he could do anything at any point in time. You could feel that coming from his acting, and it was really fantastic watching him play. I think the same thing is for Karl Urban playing Butcher too. You could feel that about him as well. And I think that was really fantastic for both of those, because to me both of them are really, even it's an ensemble, I think both of them kind of, for me, are the most interesting parts of the series, along with Kimiko and Frenchie. I think overall, the series was good. I like some of the stuff that did with the A-Train. I like his character arc. The deep character arc just strictly disgusts me most times and annoy me sometimes, but it's pretty much fine. Maeve, I was really sad about Maeve's character arc. I was really sad about Maeve's character arc. I think Maeve really stepped into her own this season, and I really liked her character this season, and I just wish they did her a bit better. Yeah, that's what's about Maeve. Homelander Kid, I think was fine. Child actor, I think his portrayal is fine, and there was nothing really special about him. His portrayal is just that the character was pretty fine. I think him going up to Homelander was weird. I didn't understand why, but than him just being his father, and he's kind of desperate for his father's love. I think in a way they kind of pivoted, like Soldier Boy was a bit more stable version of Homelander, but he still wanted the fame and the acolyte, and he still have issues with his own father being disappointed in him. And I think with Homeland not knowing who his father was, he kind of unknowingly take on a lot of traits of Soldier Boy, because it was saying that he looked up to Soldier Boy, and you can see he taking a lot of traits, the cockiness, the desperate, the need for attention. Obviously, Soldier Boy wasn't showing overall desperation like Homelander, but Homelander was go overboard a bit with even more desperation. I think even with Homelander's son, you can see a bit of that, where he wants not really attention, but he wants to be accepted, and that's the same issue that Homelander has. And I can see that throughout this thing, these three sets of characters has the same issues as us, just that it varies in degrees. And I think that was very interesting to see. All in all, a lot of things interesting happened this season. You guys should definitely check it out. Definitely watch it. You won't regret it. It's very awesome to see all these characters doing what they do best, and I really enjoy it, and I can't wait for next season. All in all, guys, this is the end of the review. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment on the video and tell me how do you experience this season and what would you change. See you guys in the next one. Peace.